This is all you need to know. This is literally it. As a new brand, you could come in and only see this video and have a decent product and you will do well. Hey, how's it going? In this video, we are going to go through how you can get traction and actually scale your e-commerce brand in 2023 as of March 2023. So let's go ahead and hop into it. First of all, I know you're like, Peter, what do you know about e-commerce? Just to show you our triple whale blended metrics, this is an average of 6 different stores. Let's just do the last, what do you guys want? Let's do the last month. Today is the 7th, so we can just do like the last month. This is a blend of 6 different stores. We have more stores. This is just our stores on Triple Whale. So you can see in just like the last month and a week or so, we have about $1 million in sales at a 6.36 ROAS. I'm just zoomed in here to restore, the integrity of the brands we're working with. But in general, on average of 6 brands in 6 different complete niches, from food to apparel to jewelry, we have a 6x return and over $1 million in sales literally in the last, month and a week. So if you are not seeing results quite like this on your channels, we know something you don't. So let's go ahead and hop into how you can get here. All right. So this is how to get traction fast in 2023 as an e-commerce brand, and particularly if you are a premium e-commerce brand and if you've been struggling a little bit or you haven't been as successful as this year as you've wanted to be, or if you're just looking to scale up. These are the new and updated strategies that are working best. This is going to be no fluff. This is the stuff that's working right now as of March in 2023. So let's go ahead and hop into it. First, we're just going to be talking about how to get more sales and acquire more customers as cheap as possible. What's working best right now for brands in every single niche on e-commerce consumer, B2C side is going to be Meta and is going to be TikTok, but it's going to be a very particular way in which we do it. Okay. So first of all, we have a couple prereqs, which is going to be, you need to know your AOV. You need to have that number understood. You need to know your conversion and you need to know your lifetime value. Okay. So first and foremost, if your AOV is not at $30 to $50, you need to get that up. You cannot be acquiring customers in a scalable way unless you have an AOV that's around like that 30 to 50 point. Okay, in USD, conversion rate ideally is at least 1 to 3%. The lower, the AOV, the higher the conversion rate, but at least 1 to 3% conversion rate, bare minimum. Lifetime value, again, if you have like a $50 AOV, we at least want that lifetime value to be around 3 times your AOV. So ideally, your lifetime value should be at least 150. So if you fall into that category and you have at least a $30 to $50 AOV, at least a 1 to 3% conversion rate, and your LTV is at least 3 times your AOV, you're good to go. If not, and the reason is because you haven't had enough traffic to your website to see what these metrics are, just start running ads, do what we're going to walk through here in a second. Start running ads to figure out what these numbers are. But if you already know these numbers and you know they're too low because you're currently running ads, again, try the ad strategies and the strategies we're about to go through. But just keep in mind that you need to be, very sparingly adjusted with your budget. Otherwise, you're not going to have a high return, because if your AOV is too low, you're just not, it doesn't matter the platform, you're not going to be profitable. Okay. And I'll just show you why real quick. This is basically why this is. These are literally every single variable that comes into play when you're running ads or acquiring traffic with paid, which is still the best way to do it, simply because it's scalable and trackable. And yes, it is now a lot more trackable, which we will go through. But again, if your AOV is like $20, so this is AOV, this is AOV, and your conversion rate is like 1%. Generally on Facebook, this number is your CPM. Generally on Facebook or TikTok, it's gonna be like 10. And if you have a really good click through, it might be like 2.5. So your ROAS here would be a 0.5 if you spend $5,000 on ads, right? You wouldn't be very profitable with these numbers. So that's why I'm saying you need at the bare minimum, like 30 to 50, and 1 to 3% AOV, because you can see now the ROAS is more profitable. Okay. So yeah, that's why those numbers are there. All right. But let's go ahead and hop into these strategies. And a few other things, you need to just understand a couple pieces about your product and your customer. First, list the 3 unique selling propositions about your product line or your products in general. If you have a bunch of SKUs, your clothing brand in general, know the top 3 USPs about your brand, whether that's the manufacturing process, whether that's the quality, whether that's how stylish and modern and recent the style is. Doesn't matter. You need 3 truly unique things about your brand or your products that are simple to understand. And again, the key here is that they are truly unique. Organic skincare, organic food, ethical clothing is no longer unique because the market has adapted to those things. So you need to see where the current market is at in terms of what the market is used to, and then find things that are unique and that other brands are not talking about with their products. Okay. So you need 3 unique selling propositions, which can just be like 3 sentences why you're unique. So for example, what's really popular in the baby clothing niche right now is bamboo fibers. So that would be like one unique like proposition is bamboo fibers. So again, 3 unique selling propositions, list those out. The other 3 things, 3 problems, the top 3 problems that your product solve for the customer, or the top 3 things that your customers say the product did for them. And you should be pulling these from reviews, not from your research. You should be directly getting these from customers. A key problem that solves is scratchy or itchy clothing, rubbing, that kind of thing. And those are problems that solves. Okay. So again, just list 3 problems that are kind of unique that your product solved, and then 3 solutions or 3 ways in which your product solves those problems. So there should be 3 very niche and unique problems that you solve, and of course the solution itself. You just want to list those out, 3 sentences, 3 sentences, and 3 sentences. This will just give you ideas for creative and copy. Okay. And we'll go through some examples in a second. Really, really simple. And like I said, the 2 best platforms right now for customer acquisition are Meta and TikTok. Google Ads also works, but it's a completely different strategy. The strategy for these is quite similar, which is why we're grouping them together. Generally, I would say for most brands, this is going to be the easiest way for you to acquire customers right now, better than organic, because that's just going to take too long and it's not super trackable, better than influencers, better than creators, because that just, again, takes too long and isn't that trackable. Again, right now, this is the best that you have. Meta in the last 90 days has also started to perform a lot better. They fixed a ton of the iOS 14 tracking issues. Tracking is back. It's very accurate. So everyone is starting to do Facebook. Everyone's doing well on Facebook again. Instagram's doing well again. And TikTok is also doing quite well. So I would highly recommend these 2 platforms. Okay, so let's hop into it. So for your TikTok strategy, if you have a new pixel, because I know a lot of you have not yet started running ads on TikTok. So if you have a new TikTok pixel, right? Again, I'm not going to go over that today. I'm going over the key fundamental strategy. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to set up 1 add to cart campaign. Again, only if you have a new pixel. 1 add to cart campaign, ABO. You're going to create 2 ad sets within this campaign, a broad ad set and an interest stacked ad set. Again, I'm not going to go click by click and show you me setting this up. It's really easy to do. Just hop into the ads manager and do it. But again, 1 broad ad set, meaning you don't put any targeting in. You only would put targeting in if you truly have a gender specific product. Okay. And just keep in mind that people also buy gifts for each other. But if you only have a gender or super age specific product, then put in targeting. And same thing with location. If you're selling like a California product, obviously, it's fine, put California in whatever, but generally be as broad as you can. Don't put any targeting in, just leave it be. Okay. The other audience that we are going to put in is an interest stack, and all an interest stack is putting in a ton of different interest topics, associated interests that your audience might have. Again, with that example of like a bamboo baby clothing brand, we're going to put in other competitor baby clothing brands. We're going to put in baby, like baby bottle, baby diaper, baby, everything related to it. We're just going to put as many interests as possible and just fill out that audience interest stacked. So you can do like interest, you can do other brands, you can do hashtags on TikTok, just anything that's somewhat related to your customer. Again, be broad. It doesn't need to be specific. Just put it in the interest stacked. Okay. So 1 add to cart campaign, 1 broad, 1 interest stacked. Each of these are going to be spending their own budget, and you're going to set the budget at 1 times your AOV. So if your average order value is $50, your broad interest will be spending $50 a day, and your interest stack will also be spending $50 a day. If that's too much for you and you're like, I literally don't have the cash to do that, you can also do 1 times your CPA, or your ideal cost per acquisition. So if you ideally want to acquire a customer for $15 for your $50 average order value, then put in $15 a day spend, though is going to take a lot longer for you to figure out what works. So again, I would recommend 1 AOV. Okay, perfect. Next, we're going to have 4 creatives between both these ad sets. So these ad sets are going to have the exact same creatives. The first is going to be, or these are actually all going to be UGC videos. So I highly recommend working with creators for this. You can, of course, create these videos yourself if you know how to do the filming and you want to be the actor and that kind of thing. but I would highly recommend just sending product to a creator and kind of telling them what to do. There's a bunch of platforms to do this. The best one that I've found is going to be #paid. This one is quite good. There's a few others out there. Just look around, like creator platforms. This one's good. Billow's okay. They usually do a decent job. So you can also do Billow Creative. There's a few other ones. Just look up, UGC creator sites. Typically, this is going to run you around $80 for a good video. But I do recommend it if you're starting out on TikTok because, yeah, it's just going to save you a lot of time. But you can create them yourself as well, okay? So the first kind of UGC, we're doing 4 different kinds, and it doesn't matter the niche. These all are going to work. But the first kind of UGC is going to be the hard sell. And really what the hard sell is you have the video of the creator talking about the product, and they're basically doing a hard sell. The structure for this looks like a hook where they just catch your attention with an intriguing 3-second clip of something happening, which again, we'll go through examples here in a second. An intriguing 3-second clip of something happening. Then they talk about how they have this problem, or they call out whatever your thing solves, or why your thing's better. So again, for the baby clothing, the issue might be, hey, a lot of the clothing I bought for my baby was rubbing, it was uncomfortable, that kind of thing. They call it the problem. Then they call out the failed solution. So I tried to buy from other brands, but yeah, it just wasn't working. My baby was still getting rashes from the clothing. But then I found blank. Then they insert your product. They introduce your brand as the solution. And then from there, they're going to talk about the unique selling propositions, the benefits, the features of the product. And then ultimately, they're going to do a call to action with an offer. Go ahead, buy now, check it out for $10 off your first order. Boom, that's it. That's the hard sell. It's just mostly focused on your product. You're going to do a second version of the hard sell where they just do a different call to action, a different hook, a different intro, and then a different set of unique selling propositions. So a different way in which they're talking about how the product solves their problem. So again, with that example of the baby clothing, instead of maybe talking about how they had issues with rashes, maybe they talk about how they want clothing that's more eco-friendly and was made in an ethical factory. So they would test a different unique selling proposition in the creative, okay? And then maybe a different call to action. So just a second version of your hard sell. Then a story, which is a creative that you should be creating. You don't have to do it yourself. You can, again, have someone else do it, but it's just a story of you, the company, like why, how, and what you do. So just like why you started the brand, how you did it, maybe some of the more personal details so people can relate, and what exactly you do. Just share that story. You can put pictures of the factory in the video. You can do little clips of you just starting up. You can do clips of the product being made. It doesn't matter. Just do a story oriented format. And the fourth kind is just gonna be purely entertaining. It just shows the product. It doesn't even mention the product. This can be literally anything. We've seen people throw like peanut butter on their clothes, and that's like the entire video, and it gets a lot of sales. It can be literally anything, just purely entertaining. Just make it ridiculous. This should just be based off of what you see other people doing in different niches, and just kind of taking some ideas as far as what you think your customer would find funny, entertaining, or kind of different, okay? These are the 4 kinds of UGCs. And again, we will go over examples of these in a second, okay? Perfect. So this is for a new pixel. We do an add to cart campaign. Now, if you have gotten 50 add to carts, at this point, you should make a purchase objective campaign and then do the exact same thing, 1 broad, 1 interest, and then these 4 creatives. Again, after you have 50 add to carts, you'll probably know which of these creatives worked best. So 1 or 2 of these are going to probably have most of the purchases. So of course, you're just going to want to make another 3 to 4 creatives like the one that worked. Okay. But after you have 50 add to carts, switch to a purchase campaign. You can leave your add to cart campaign on, just let it run for a while until you have 50 purchases, and then you can turn off your add to cart campaign. But I would highly recommend just leaving that on as you add in a purchase campaign, and then just do the same thing you did here, okay? Super, super easy. And just a couple rules for TikTok. Again, work with creators if you are unsure of the content. If you don't have someone that's on TikTok on your internal team that they could obviously create it, but if you don't have someone like that and you don't feel comfortable doing it yourself, use a platform like I just showed you, Billow or #paid, or there's 1,000 others, a creator marketplace, send product, pay the creator, get those videos, and then run those as the ads, okay? That's the easiest way to do this. That's what you'll have the most success with because they know the platform and they're on it every day. Of course, the creator should be in your target market, should be your target demographic. So of course, kind of a little nitpicky there, right? Then you want to make sure you understand the market sophistication in your niche. This is a huge, huge thing. A lot of the times you see these brands and they go into TikTok and they don't realize that, again, the same thing as before, they don't realize that every other brand is already talking about how their product's eco-friendly. Everyone's product is eco-friendly. That's no longer unique. And so you have to talk about something else that is unique. So you need to look at market sophistication. And the easiest way to do that is going to be to go to your TikTok Creative Center, and you can see all the different ads that are being run just under the top ads dashboard. You can see all the top ads in your specific niche. So you know, hey, what do people currently see and how can we be slightly different from that? Okay. So understand market sophistication, because you will get called out if you're doing something that was done 3 years ago. Okay. And additionally, get weird. Don't sell too hard. We do focus on hard sell videos, but some of the best selling videos are just very weird and random. So again, it's good sometimes to just let creators do what they want to do. Don't give them too much structure. Again, we recommend having those hard sells in there, but again, let people have fun with it. Just let the video be organically interesting. So again, get weird, don't sell too hard. And then cycle in new creative every 4 to 7 days. The number one reason your TikTok results will taper off is because you didn't add a new creative in 4 to 7 days. And by adding a new creative, I'm just saying, if you had an ad that was getting purchases and it stopped getting purchases, that means it's time to throw in a completely new ad or a new version of that ad that did well. That's all you need to do. Every 4 to 7 days, add in 3 to 4 new creatives, turn off the ones that didn't do well, that didn't get any clicks, that didn't get any purchases, just turn them off and throw new ones in. That's literally all you have to do. But this is key. If you don't do this, you will have bad results, okay? Now for creative structures, ideally 3-second cuts, right? So you don't really want the video to drag on. Every 3 seconds, there should be a cut to a new scene or a new topic, or just cut the video in a new color. Just every 3 seconds, something has to change about the scene, the sound, literally anything to keep people interested. Follow trending creative types. There's a bunch of different kinds of trends that are always constantly going on in different sub niches. So there'll be like a new clothing trend where people are trying on the clothes in the video in a different way. There'll be food trends where people are like preparing food. If you're like a food brand in a new way, follow those trends that are happening on your specific niche. Again, you can find out what those trends are by going to the Creative Center top ads dashboard, okay? And Creative Insights is useful too. This is all free, of course, right? All right, and now for the hard sell structure. Again, this is going to be a hook, a 3-second hook. The problem, right? So what your product solves, the problem, the thing that your product alleviates. And again, for clothing, you're like, my clothing doesn't like solve any problems. Again, in this case, it's just going to be why your clothing is different. It goes back to those 3 USPs. So most clothing isn't that stylish, or most whatever isn't that good, right? It's just saying why someone should buy it. It's justifying that with a unique selling proposition. Then introducing the failed solutions or competitors. So I tried on a bunch of these other clothes, but I didn't like them as much, or they weren't in style, they weren't that good of quality, or whatever it may be. Talk about the failed solutions. Again, this is niche specific. This depends on the niche. And again, if you're selling a really simple product, say beef jerky, where you're like, again, there's not really a problem you're solving. At the end of the day, there's a reason people are going to try your product. So it's like, I'm sick of the other jerky flavors, or I'm sick of jerky that has fillers in it, whatever those problems are. Or I just want to try a jerky brand that's more local and I can actually understand who's making it, right? So there's always a problem. There's always a problem, right? So again, introduce those failed solutions, what you tried before. So the reason we do this is just so that customer feels like that you get them, right? You're aware of their past pain, you're aware of where they've been. And so now you've opened them up to something new, which is where you introduce the new solution. Again, talk about those 3 USPs, those three unique selling propositions in the benefit section. And then ultimately your call to action and offer. Offers do very well on these hard sell type ads. Again, we'll go through an example here in a minute. But again, have an offer, have a call to action at the end. And again, TikTok actually helps you out with this a lot. There's an incredible tool called Keyword Insights, where you can literally see, based off of the location, what call to actions and what USPs are doing well. So pretty much all the work is done for you. So we can just do clothing accessories, for example, purchases, keyword type. We can do selling points, okay? Perfect natural lenses, whatever. We can do pain points, right? So problems, headaches. Okay. So a big pain point with clothing accessories. Obviously this is glasses, is headaches, right? Call to actions, which call to actions are performing the best, right? So you can literally figure out with data what you should be doing here. Okay. Now that's the structure for the hard sell. Everything else is pretty much dependent on the niche in terms of what these creatives are. So let's go through some examples of what these creatives actually look like. All right. Now this ad is a hard sell. I would consider this a hard sell, but it's not the exact hard sell that we just discussed, but it has a lot of the same components. So let's watch it. There's the hook. Now we aren't going into failed solutions. We are immediately going into benefits, right? 3 USPs, never lose the wallet, multiple colors and styles, and 45-day risk-free trial. Those are their 3 USPs. And then, oh, lifetime warranty. Okay. And we're still on some USPs. So just all benefits. And they actually didn't have a call to action in this ad. So this ad wasn't a total hard sell as we would define it, but it did have a lot of those elements. It did have the hook. That 3 seconds was obviously very, very engaging, right? That's like, you're going to stop and be like, whoa, that's kind of crazy, right? So there's your 3-second hook. And then it just went right into the, the new solution, the benefits, and then it didn't really have an offer either. So this isn't quite a hard sell, but you can kind of see how this is pieced together. All right. So for the entertaining ad, it literally can be anything. And oftentimes it's very, very simple. Like this would be an example of an entertaining ad. It's a sparkly purse. That's it. But it has 5,000 likes, 86 comments, and 118 shares, and it's in the top 10% of purchase conversions in the bag niche right now. So while it's not the most entertaining thing, it's entertaining enough to get people to purchase, which is all we need. Now we can get into more wild and exotic ads that are more entertaining. So here's an example of that. And I'm not going to go through this entire skit, right? But again, it's just an entertaining ad. It's talking about the product, but it doesn't really go through the unique selling propositions or anything. It's just an entertaining placement. So that's an example of that. And now I won't be going through the story example. I think it speaks for itself. It's, again, literally just showing different clips of how the brand started, why you do what you do, etc., etc. It can literally be a selfie style video, just talking about the brand with some orders behind you in the warehouse, whatever it may be. It's just telling people your story, the why, what, and how. You've probably done this 100 times when people ask. So it's just recording that. It's very, very simple. Okay. And these are literally the 4 kinds of ads, 2 versions of the hard sell, just different variations. Again, the story and just an entertaining ad. All UGC. Again, we recommend using UGC creators. Okay. So very, very simple. And literally, if you follow this structure, if you just do this, and again, your product actually has 3 unique things about it, and you get creators that are in your target demographic, you will get sales from this. You will get sales from this. Now, the only caveat with TikTok is it works best if you're targeting a market that is 50 and under. Anything that's like 40 to 50 and up can get a little bit hard to target on TikTok because they are expensive, because there's just less of them on the platform. Doesn't mean you can't, it just means it's more expensive. So again, I would say ideally, if your brand appeals to people under the age of 50, primarily, you're in good space, and you can absolutely get sales with TikTok. Okay, so let's move over to Facebook, and this is Facebook and Instagram, just Meta in general, right? The structure is very, very similar. Again, we're not going to go over a new pixel because it's pretty much the same thing. And I'm sure most people already have this pixel set up, but we're just going to be setting up a purchase campaign, an ABO campaign. Okay. Just meaning that the ad sets will spend their own budget. One ad set will be broad. Again, no targeting unless, again, your product is very, very only for a specific kind of person, gender, age, whatever it may be. And then we are going to do one interest stacked. Again, you just put all the brands they might be interested in, all the topics, all the associated interests, anything and everything you can think of that your target market would be into. You just do one ad set like that, one broad. And again, same exact thing. Each of these ad sets should be spending one average order value each day each. So again, $50 for the broad, $50 for the interest stacked if your AOV is 50. And I would recommend doing the Advantage Plus. Just check that setting, turn that on, so Meta will decide where to show your ads. Okay. And the creatives are going to be pretty much the same. We're going to do our hard sell UGC. You can just pick the best one. And we're going to also be running our entertaining UGC. And then the other 2 kinds of ads we're going to be making is a product carousel and a single static offer. Now, for the single static offer, I'll show you a great example of what that looks like. we'll just do a little Ridge Wallet ad again. So here's a great ad. Let's see this one here. This is a great ad, which again is just a single image, shows all the features, shows what comes with it. Very simple, right? So just a little single image ad. Again, you can test different single images, but just pick like one of your best single images for the product. You can do text overlay. If you're in a niche where it's I see it, I like it niche, and it doesn't require much description, you don't need text overlay, you don't need anything. So usually clothing, unless there's something unique or maybe a unique feature about it, a unique material, then do a text overlay describing it. That's great. If not, don't do anything. For jewelry, most of the time, again, unless there's something very unique, and no, 14 karat isn't that unique. If there's something truly unique about it, put some text on there. Otherwise, it should just be an I see it, I like it type ad, okay? And of course, if you have the budget to spend, if you have more than 1 times your AOV for each ad set, so more than 2 times your AOV, right, to spend each day on ads, right? If you have, for example, if your AOV is 50, if you have more than $100 to spend each day on ads for testing, feel free to add in more creatives, right? Feel free to add in more versions of these UGCs. Feel free to add in more product carousels and single static images. Feel free to add more in, but this is only if you're on a tight budget, right? Otherwise, feel free to add in, a few other versions of these images, but do not add any more interests or targeting stacks or anything like that, okay? So again, that's a great example of a single product ad. And a carousel is the exact same thing, you're just gonna have more things like this. So for Ridge Wallet, it would just be talking about maybe each picture in the carousel would be a different feature of the wallet, and each image would go over that feature. If you're in a clothing niche, you can just have a bunch of your top selling products in a row, kind of next to each other. If you're in the food niche, again, it could just be some of your top flavors in a row next to each other. Again, I don't think we need to go through an example. It's very simple. And as you can see, they actually have some of their UGCs running in here as well. So very simple, one carousel, show off the different versions of your product, the different variations, or if you don't have that many variations, show off the different features in different slides, okay? Very simple, and these are doing great, and the static ad is self-explanatory, okay? And that's literally all you need to do, and just send people to the homepage for the most part. That's literally it. And you don't need any more interest than this if you're just looking to acquire more customers. Retargeting, middle of funnel, this stuff does matter. But honestly, right now, you really don't need to do that. Facebook will just figure it out. By using your broad campaign, Facebook will probably be showing your ad to a couple of those same people more than once. So just let it do its thing. Again, if you're on a tight budget, just get that 1 AOV and spend for each ad set. If you're not on a tight budget, just test more creatives and increase the budget on each of these ad sets. That's all you need to do. Like, don't do anything else. Don't add in more ad sets. You don't need to do retargeting. You don't need to do middle of funnel for the most part. Again, just focus on these 2 ad sets, increase budget here. Later on, once you get a lot more sales from this, you can add in like retargeting and this and that. But for the most part, I would say that you're going to just want to focus on these. With your broad campaign, Facebook, they don't really tell you this, but they will definitely inadvertently be retargeting people with it, okay? So this is what I would spend most of your time on. This is where you're gonna see most of your customer acquisition happening, okay? Now, let's go on to some general rules for Meta as of 2023. Broader is better. Generally, 9 times out of 10, like literally 9 times out of 10, we see that leaving the audience more broad or doing a bunch of different interests is the way to go. It's very rare that we see sticking to one particular interest does better. Very rare. Same thing with middle of funnel retargeting. If you do that, again, broader is a lot better, okay? Don't get wrapped up in the manual settings. There's a lot of settings you can play with, cost caps, this and that. Once you start spending a lot, and this is not a video on scaling, this is a video on if you're struggling right now, what to do. You can do cost caps later, but don't get wrapped up in any manual settings. Just let it be automatic, okay? And always purchase focused campaigns. So you don't need to do add to cart. You don't need to do anything else unless you're in a completely different niche other than e-commerce. Focus on purchase campaigns. Simple. No add to carts. No add to carts. No add to carts. Okay. Now for creative, know your buyer, know what mediums that they like. So again, over time, like I said, Advantage Plus campaigns, what that setting does is it will let Facebook decide where to place the ad, story format, Instagram static feed, Facebook Marketplace, all these different places you can show ads. It will automatically do that. Over time, you can have some advantages if you pick the mediums yourself and you say only show this on stories or Instagram ads. But again, this is only when you're looking to scale. This is a different video. If you're stuck right now, let Facebook decide. Let Meta decide, right? Generally for copy, keep it to 3 lines and add in emojis. Make it very easy to read. You should be able to read the copy in 5 seconds, right? 3 lines, use some emojis, keep it clean, keep it easy to understand, focus on those unique selling propositions, have an offer in there. That's it. Very, very, very simple. Our best performing copy, again, 9 times out of 10 is going to be our 3-line copy, talking about the unique selling propositions, talking about the benefits, or just saying something like kind of entertaining within 3 lines. Okay. And again, visually appealing, not busy or creative, not busy, but creative. So what I mean by this is Ridge Wallet it's a hard thing because it has a lot of features, but they do a good job of keeping it simple, right? Ridge Wallet. Here's our features. Easy to understand, easy to read. It's not too busy. Sometimes you'll see ads that are very, very busy, that are really hard to understand, really hard to read. These are definitely getting close because there's a lot of products, there's a lot of images, there's a lot of text. That can be a little busy. So you just want to have a very easy to see ad and very easy to understand. And as you can see here, really simple copy using emojis, right? Really simple copy using emojis. And this is just one example. If we look up any fast growing brand right now, it's going to be the same. Let's just say let's do Lululemon. So like a bigger brand. Let's see if we can pull. Yep. So let's pull up Lululemon just because this is a bigger brand, but right. Super simple copy. We're talking simple copy. Again, just they're doing 2-line copy. Very simple, creative, just some products. They do have some UGC, right? They do some more UGC content. They do have some more done up content, but even this heavy stuff is pretty straightforward. One headline, main subject, brand, is very, very simple. So that's what you want to keep to on Instagram and Facebook creative. Okay. Perfect. Now, generally solutions, benefits, call to action, and offer. These are going to be the main things that are going to determine your success other than just the creative itself and like the product you have. It's just going to be the solutions, benefits, and the call to action offer. A really good offer, a good discount, a good bundle, a good guarantee, a good warranty, a good shipping time. Any good offer will perform well for you in copy or in the creative. So if you need some help, throw in a good offer. Okay. Benefits, again, solution and benefits is huge. What problems are you actually solving and how are you describing those? The more niche, the better. The more understood the customer feels, the better. It's like saying my body hurts versus like the left elbow under the bone hurts. When you get that specific and you're solving solutions that are that micro, people feel very understood and they're way more likely to buy. So when we think about the solutions and benefits and the features, we want to get as niche as possible because that means people are going to be like, whoa, they really get me. Like you have to know, right? You have to know. And that's the kind of copy you want. Okay. And generally the more creative, the better. This is what was supposed to be here. So the more creative, the better. Budget allowing, right? So when you're looking to scale Facebook ads, Meta ads, Instagram, whatever, when you're looking to scale up, it's about adding in more creative. It's about testing creative and testing offers. It's not about testing audiences anymore. Just if you have more budget, just test as much creative as you possibly can. That's the thing to do. Okay. And test products as well, right? Test products in the creative. Okay. So these are your general rules and your creative rules for Meta. And that's really it. That's literally all you need to succeed and acquire customers profitably in 2023. Now let's go through website structure really, really quick. There's been a pretty big change recently in e-commerce as far as what websites are converting. Again, this is going to be niche specific. So websites in the kitchen space are going to be a different structure than websites in the food space or the apparel space. Look at your space, see what's going on. But in general, these are some of the themes that we're seeing. First and foremost, what we're seeing on product pages a lot now is options for bundling. Pretty much every brand now offers bundles to increase AOV. So for example, the soap, you can get multiple bars. We also are seeing very easy to understand and minimalist sites that really try to focus on only the key things that you have to know. They try to keep it as minimalist as possible. So smells like exfoliation, right? A 1-line headline, simple, satisfaction, details more about the product, ingredients, cool. Usage. It's so simple. Reviews. Like this is what's working for product pages on pretty much every niche. Same thing for this. This is like a kitchen product. Colors, quantity, right? Bundles, save a little bit. Unique selling propositions, product descriptions, right? FAQs, which is pretty much, this should actually be a different section. They should put this under here, but it's whatever. And again, testimonials. So same exact structure. Pretty much every site's going to look like this. Here's another one. These are reusable paper towels. Same thing. Subscribe and save. So bundles, right? Choose your color. Why it's better. So USPs, again, 4 USPs. Headline, how to use, ways to use, USPs, how it's made, ingredients, right? And testimonials. So you can kind of see the theme here. There's only like a couple different things that the website talks about. So if your website, again, doesn't have descriptions like this and you have a functional product, this is what you need. Now, if you have a website where it is more focused on flavors or variations, that kind of thing, it's a similar situation. It's just you just want people to shop your site as much as possible. Dr. Squatch has a lot of variations, a lot of products. So, having UGC on your homepage, that's a big thing that's working right now. Having people just explore your site is huge. Just let people kind of go through and see what they like, but keeping it simple, right? So again, I would look at Dr. Squatch as a great example for most brands. You can apply it to food, apparel, that kind of thing. Just let people explore your brand, right? So these are kind of like the key things we're seeing working on these sites. Cool. All right. So if you made it through this whole video, congratulations. You will now see profitable customer acquisition coming through. This is all you need to know. This is literally it. As a new brand, you could come in and only see this video and have a decent product and you will do well. If you're a brand that's been around for a while and you're looking to scale, just dial back the simplicity. This is all you actually need. It's all about creative testing now. That's all that matters. It's all about the USPs. Keep it simple. This is literally all you need to do to acquire customers profitably in 2023. All right. So I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, leave them below. Otherwise, if you really need help scaling, you can feel free to book in a strategy call. I can walk you through what's working specifically for your niche. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.